What if the reason you feel stuck has nothing to do with how hard you work? What if you could double your productivity without working a single extra hour? What if the most successful people in the world are not the ones who do the most, but the ones who do the right things? Think about that for a moment. Every day, millions of Americans wake up, rush to work, check emails, attend meetings, respond to notifications, work late, and collapse into bed. They're exhausted, overwhelmed, and frustrated because no matter how much they do, they never seem to get ahead. They are busy, but they are not effective. There's a difference, and that difference is the subject of everything we are about to explore. This audiobook is inspired by the timeless ideas of Stephen R. Covey, who wrote one of the most influential books on personal effectiveness ever published. But this is not a summary of that book. This is a new exploration, created for the modern American listener, dealing with the pressures of the 21st century, the notifications, the distractions, the career competition, the financial stress, the family responsibilities, the constant demand for your attention. We're going to look at 7 principles, 7 habits that can transform the way you think, work, and live, not by giving you more to do, but by helping you do the right things. The question is not whether you're busy. The question is whether you are moving in the right direction. And that is where we begin. The first habit. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people are controlled by their circumstances. They wake up, react to their environment, respond to demands, and go to bed feeling like they had no control over their day. They blame their boss, their parents, their partner, the economy, the government, their past, and they wonder why nothing changes. The first principle of personal effectiveness is this: you have the power to choose your response. No matter what happens to you, this is not about denying reality. It is about taking responsibility for your response to reality. Imagine 2 people in the same situation. Both are passed over for promotion. One person spirals into resentment. They blame their boss. They blame their co-workers. They stop trying. They become bitter. The other person feels disappointed. But they ask themselves a different question. What can I learn from this? What can I do differently? How can I become the kind of person who gets promoted next time? Same situation, completely different response. And those different responses lead to completely different outcomes. This is what it means to be proactive. It is the opposite of reactive. When you are reactive, you let circumstances control you. When you are proactive, you choose your response. You cannot control the traffic, but you can choose how you react to it. You cannot control a difficult boss, but you can choose how you respond. You cannot control economic downturns, but you can choose how you prepare. The power is not in controlling everything. The power is in controlling yourself. Let me tell you about a young professional named David. David was frustrated. He worked hard, but he felt like he was going nowhere. He blamed his manager. He blamed the company culture. He blamed the economy, and nothing changed. One day, he realized that his blaming was not helping, so he asked himself a different question. What can I do that is within my control to improve my situation? He started learning new skills. He started networking with people in his industry. He started taking on projects that no one else wanted. Within a year, he was promoted, not because the economy changed, not because his manager changed, because David changed. He stopped waiting for the world to change, and he started changing himself. Think about a situation in your life that is frustrating you. Now think about what is within your control and what is outside your control. Then focus your energy on what you can control. You'll be amazed at how much power you have once you stop wasting energy on things you cannot change. The second habit. Here is a common problem. People work hard, but they are not sure what they are working toward. They are climbing a ladder, but they are not sure if it is leaning against the right wall. They are following someone else's path, living someone else's dream, chasing goals that do not belong to them, and they wonder why they feel empty. The second principle is this: you need a clear vision for your life, not someone else's vision, not society's vision, not your parents' vision, yours. Think about this. If you could design your ideal life, what would it look like? Not what other people expect. Not what looks good on Instagram. What would you actually want? Would you want more time with your family? Would you want a career that aligns with your values? Would you want to travel? Would you want to create something meaningful? Would you want to be healthier? Would you want more peace? Would you want to contribute to something bigger than yourself? These are not trivial questions. They are the foundation of your life. And if you do not answer them, someone else will answer them for you. Let me tell you about a woman named Maria. Maria was 35 years old, and she was successful by every external measure. She had a high-paying job, a beautiful apartment, a prestigious title, but she was miserable. She realized that she had been chasing goals that were not her own. She had been living someone else's dream, so she took a step back. She asked herself what she really wanted. She imagined her life 10 years from now. She created a vision that was truly hers. Then she started making changes. She left her job. She started her own business. She moved to a city she actually wanted to live in. Today, she earns less money, but she is infinitely happier because she is living a life that belongs to her. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. What kind of person are you? What kind of relationships do you have? What kind of work are you doing? What kind of health do you have? What kind of impact are you making? Write it down in vivid detail. Then ask yourself, what am I doing today that is moving me toward that vision? If the answer is nothing, you need to start, because a vision without action is just a fantasy. The third habit. There's a difference between urgent and important. Urgent things demand your attention right now. Important things align with your values and long-term goals. The problem is that urgent things often seem more important than they really are. An email that dings at you, a notification that pops up, a request that comes in, a task that someone else decides is urgent. These things demand your attention, and you give it to them because it is easier to respond to the urgent than to prioritize the important. But here's the result. You spend your days reacting to urgent things, and you never make progress on what actually matters. Think about your typical day. How many hours do you spend on things that are urgent but not important? Emails, meetings, notifications, interruptions, tasks that are not really your responsibility. Now think about how many hours you spend on things that are important but not urgent. Planning, exercising, learning, building relationships, working on long-term projects. If you are like most people, you spend almost all your time on urgent things and almost no time on important things, and then you wonder why you are not getting ahead. The solution is to prioritize, to know what matters most, and to protect time for it, to say no to things that are urgent but not important. So you can say yes to things that are important, to schedule time for your priorities, and treat that time as non-negotiable. This is not easy. It requires discipline. It requires saying no. It requires not caring what other people think. But it is essential, because if you do not prioritize your life, someone else will. At the beginning of each week, identify your top 3 priorities for the week, not the urgent things, the important things, the things that will move you closer to your vision. Then schedule time for those things before you schedule anything else. If you do not schedule time for your priorities, they will never get done, because there will always be something urgent demanding your attention. The fourth habit. Many people believe that success is a zero-sum game. For them to win, someone else must lose. For them to succeed, someone else must fail. For them to get ahead, someone else must fall behind. This is a scarcity mindset, and it is destructive. It destroys relationships, it creates enemies, and it limits your potential. The fourth principle is this: you can find solutions where everyone wins. It is not about compromise. It is about finding a better solution, a solution that benefits both sides. Think about a negotiation. Person A wants something, person B wants something different. The win-lose approach says, I am going to get what I want, and you are going to get what you want. Less, the win-win approach says, let us think together and find a solution that gives both of us what we want. This is not about being weak. It is about being creative. It is about recognizing that there are often better solutions than the ones we initially see. And it is about building relationships rather than destroying them. Let me give you an example. 2 co-workers are competing for the same promotion. The win-lose approach says, I need to make myself look better than the other person. I need to undermine them. I need to win, and they need to lose. The win-win approach says, let me focus on being the best I can be. Let me collaborate with the other person. Let me help them succeed too. And if the promotion goes to someone else, let it be because they were better prepared, not because I sabotaged them. The first approach creates enemies. The second approach builds relationships. And in the long run, the person who builds relationships will go much further than the person who burns them. Think about a current conflict in your life. Now ask yourself, is there a way for both sides to win? What would that look like? What would need to change? How can you approach the situation differently? You might be surprised at how often a win-win solution exists if you are willing to look for it. The fifth habit. Here is a common problem in conversations. People do not listen. They just wait for their turn to speak. They listen only enough to figure out what they're going to say next, and then they talk. They try to make themselves understood, but they have not understood the other person, so their attempts at being understood fail. The fifth principle is this: seek first to understand, then to be understood. Think about the last argument you had. Did you really listen to the other person, or were you already preparing your response? Did you try to understand their perspective, or were you trying to prove that you were right? Most arguments happen because neither person feels heard. And when people do not feel heard, they talk louder. They repeat themselves. They get frustrated. But when you truly listen, everything changes. The other person feels respected. They calm down. They are more willing to listen to you. Let me tell you about a married couple named Tom and Lisa. Tom was frustrated because Lisa always seemed to be complaining. He thought she was unhappy with him. He thought she was impossible to please. But one day, he stopped trying to fix things and started listening. He asked her questions. He let her talk. He did not interrupt. And he discovered something. She was not complaining about him. She was sharing that she felt overwhelmed by taking care of the children, the house, and her job. She was not asking him to fix everything. She was asking him to understand. Once Tom understood, he could actually help. They could find a solution together. But until he listened, he could not help because he did not understand the real problem. The next time you are in a conversation, practice active listening. Do not interrupt. Do not prepare your response. Do not try to fix the problem. Just listen. Ask questions. Clarify what they're saying. Restate their point to make sure you understand. Then once they feel heard, they will be much more willing to hear you. This is the secret to effective communication. The sixth habit. People are different. Different personalities, different experiences, different perspectives, different skills, different ways of thinking. And many people see these differences as a problem, as a conflict, as something to be overcome. But the sixth principle is this: difference is not a problem. Difference is an opportunity. When people with different perspectives work together, they can create better solutions than any one person could create alone. The key is to value those differences rather than trying to eliminate them. Think about a team where everyone thinks the same. They agree on everything. They never argue. They have the same ideas. This seems harmonious, but it is not. It is groupthink, and it is dangerous because when everyone thinks the same, they miss things, they make mistakes, they fail to see opportunities. The best teams are not the ones that agree on everything. The best teams are the ones that bring together different perspectives, that challenge each other, that build on each other's ideas, and that requires valuing difference. Let me give you a business example. Two people are launching a product. One person thinks they should focus on online advertising. The other person thinks they should focus on building a community. They could argue, they could try to prove each other wrong, or they could combine their strengths. They could use online advertising to reach a broad audience and community building to convert that audience into loyal customers. The combination is stronger than either approach alone, but they only discover that if they value each other's perspective. Think about someone in your life who thinks very differently from you. Instead of seeing them as difficult, try to see them as an opportunity. What can you learn from them? What can you see differently because of their perspective? How can you combine your strengths to create something better? This shift in perspective can transform your relationships and your results. The seventh habit. Here is something that happens to many people. They achieve success, but they lose themselves in the process. They build a career, but they sacrifice their health. They accumulate wealth, but they neglect their relationships. They gain power, but they lose their integrity. They become effective, and then they collapse because they did not invest in their own renewal. The seventh principle is this: you must continuously renew yourself, your body, your mind, your relationships, and your inner life. If you neglect any of these areas, the others will eventually suffer. Your body is your foundation. Without physical energy, you cannot do anything effectively. Yet many people neglect their bodies. They sleep too little, they eat poorly, they never exercise, and then they wonder why they have no energy. Your mind is your tool. You must continuously learn. You must read. You must think. You must develop new skills. If you stop learning, you become obsolete. Your relationships are your support system. You cannot succeed alone. You need other people, and those relationships require investment. You must communicate. You must connect. You must care. Your inner life is your compass. You need to reflect on your values, your purpose, your direction. If you lose sight of what matters, you will work hard in the wrong direction. Let me tell you about a man named James. James was a successful executive. He had money, he had status, he had respect, but he was exhausted. He had not exercised in years. He had not read a book in months. He had not had a real conversation with his wife in weeks. He had not reflected on his life in a long time. He was successful, and he was falling apart. One day, he realized that he could not continue. He started exercising. He started reading again. He started spending quality time with his family. He started reflecting on what truly mattered. And slowly, he became effective again, not just successful, but truly effective because he was investing in himself. Look at the 4 areas of your life. Body. Are you sleeping enough? Exercising, eating well. Mind. Are you learning, reading, growing? Relationships. Are you investing in the people who matter? Inner life. Are you reflecting, staying true to your values, maintaining your purpose? If any of these areas is neglected, commit to improving it, not next week, today, because your effectiveness depends on your renewal, the transformation. Now, let us bring everything together. These 7 principles are not separate productivity hacks. They represent a progression. It starts with personal responsibility, the decision that you will control your responses, rather than letting circumstances control you. Then it moves to vision, the decision that you will live your own life, rather than someone else's. Then it moves to priorities, the decision that you will focus on what matters, rather than what is urgent. Then it moves to relationships, the decision that you will seek mutual benefit, rather than defeating others. Then it moves to communication, the decision that you will listen before you speak, truly understand before you try to be understood. Then it moves to difference, the decision that you will value different perspectives, rather than trying to eliminate them. And finally, it moves to renewal, the decision that you will invest in yourself, so you can sustain your effectiveness over the long term. This is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice, but it starts with a single decision. The decision to stop being a victim of your circumstances and to start being the author of your life. The decision to stop being busy and to start being effective. The decision to stop doing what is urgent and to start doing what matters. That decision is available to you. Right now, you do not need to change everything overnight. You just need to make one better choice today, and then another tomorrow, and another the day after that. Over time, those choices will compound, and one day you will look back and you will realize that you have become a different person, not because you try to change everything at once, but because you consistently made better decisions. Your final challenge: choose one habit from this audiobook and practice it for the next 30 days. Which one will it be? Will you take more responsibility? Will you clarify your vision? Will you prioritize better? Will you seek win-win outcomes? Will you listen more deeply? Will you value differences? Will you renew yourself? Choose one and commit to it, because knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied is power, And the only thing standing between you and a more effective life is the willingness to take action. Thank you for listening. If this audiobook changed the way you think about effectiveness, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more lessons on personal growth, mindset, and transformation. And remember, the most effective people are not the ones who do the most. They are the ones who do what matters most. Go! Become the most effective version of yourself. Your future self is waiting